Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says U.S. intelligence has concluded the Syrian government has used a limited amount of sarin gas as a weapon in its civil war against its citizens.
As I've said, the intelligence community has been assessing information for some time on this issue, and the decision to reach this conclusion was made within the past 24 hours.
President Obama has repeatedly asserted Syria's use of chemical weapons would cross a red line. The administration may be looking for additional time in which to craft a response. If the situation in Syria does trigger a military response, soldiers at Joint Base Lewis McChord say they'll be ready. The news broke this morning just as soldiers return from their latest deployment in Afghanistan. Our South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson talked with the soldiers and their families about what might be next. Drew?
Well, Gene, during a homecoming, the last thing soldiers and their families want to think about is the next deployment. But in this world, at this time, with their jobs, they all realize that is a possibility and, of course, a concern, but that can't ruin a day like today.
He's a wiggle worm. He won't stop moving.
Can you blame him?
Come on.
Jonathan Jr. is about to meet Jonathan Sr.
I'm shaking. I'm sweating.
Maria Hamilton gave birth to Jr. 4 months ago. His father's been in Afghanistan for 5 months and missed the birth.
He was on Skype, but it's not the same. Definitely not the same.
Many of these families have been through homecomings before, but they're never routine.
They're all yours.
This was Sergeant Jonathan Hamilton's first deployment, but his wife fears it won't be his last.
Oh, God.
These soldiers know what's going on in the world, North Korea, Iran, and in Syria.
Of course I do. Everybody should. But it doesn't really affect what we do on a day-to-day basis.
They all know this homecoming could be temporary.
Everyone signed up for it. We knew what we got into. I'm sure they'll be ready when the nation calls again for them. And they'll go handle business like they did this time.
I'm not worried about anything except for hanging out with the family.
For the Hamiltons, that's all that matters today.
Ready to go home. Finally be a family.
Of the 176 soldiers who returned today, no one was willing to make any predictions about what their military futures may look like, but they all know at least that's for the long term. Short term, though, they're looking forward to it. The next month, most of them either have light duty or a lot of time off. Live at Joint Base Lewis McChord, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Thank you, Drew.